BBC Choice as we get a...
Liquid News, live with Christopher Price.
Good evening. These are tonight's headlining stories. Madonna gets rubber rage. Pop's First Lady threatens to sue over Madge condoms. Going.com, Pete Tong, UK music and film websites hit trouble. Plus, Best in Show, Lorraine Chase's sister Marilyn gets Kerrang. Hi there, I'm Christopher. We are live on BBC Choice. I hope you're well, and I hope you're not feeling extra sensitive or ribbed tonight, because that's exactly what kind of mood Madonna is in. The erotica queen turned mother of two showbiz tots is going head-to-head with a condom manufacturer. A New York sex shop called Condom Mania has just stacked its shelves with sheaths which carry Madonna's image on its very large packet. Lady Marmalade's got all sticky over this and is threatening to sue the teat out of them. Practising on a banana for Liquid News, Leonard Chauhan.
She's never been the wilting wallflower shy of a bit of publicity. The more she could do to shock, the better. But the new, more conservative Madonna has had a hard time seeing the funny side of Condomania's use of a picture taken of her by photographer Martin Schreiber. Her lawyers have fired off a cease and desist letter, and it wasn't French.
What happened was in 1979, she took these nude photographs and she signed over the rights to the photographer for whatever use forever. And he has been doing that. He put them on these condoms, and when she tried to take it to court, I mean, she signed over the rights, so there's nothing she can really do about it.
Madonna would normally be safe in the States because of its strict privacy and personality rights. The laws here are far more lax. The Beckhams were forced to trademark their image. Even Richard and Judy got protection. At Condomania, they just want Madonna to get behind them.
Condomania wants to give out an image about condoms that people will use them. We want to make them fun, we want to make them sexy, we want to make them safe. We want people to use them, and I think that using Madonna's image is great because she's always been thought of as like a positive, healthy, sexuality like woman.
Promoting safe sex is one thing, but when the manufacturer is called VDM International, Madonna might understandably prefer to keep a safe distance. Naina Palmer-Chauhan, BBC News.
In the studio tonight, stand-up First Lady Julia Morris, who's fresh back from Very Ray, very good reviews up in Edinburgh. Also, here's Radio 1 movie royalty in the pleasant shape of James King. But with us to talk about tonight's lead story is the media lawyer, lawyer to, in fact, Piers Brosnan at one stage, wasn't it?
That's right.
Mr. Tony Morris, thank you very much for joining us. I've got to say this, if Madonna does sue, will it stand up?
It'll stand up as much as it can do in the States. She's got a very good case. In America, if you can protect rights in your physical image and in your face.
What is the actual point with this case? Is it's a condom? Is it that it's her face? I mean, what is the actual point of law here?
In America, it'll be a trademark case. You have a common law trademark in your face, so it'll be a trademark action.
Yeah. So it's not a case of suck it and see.
Well,
See?
maybe the judge will take that for you. Who knows?
I had to work this in at some stage. You're wearing bananas.
I'm all about bananas tonight.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm going bananas after a month in Edinburgh.
We will be practising with condoms later in the programme. I just want to
Really?
point that out. Now, what about the fact, because this picture is a very old one from 1972, and I do remember at the beginning, at some stage during her career, there was an old kind of semi-porn video which came out, which clearly she couldn't block. So why is it, does she own the rights to just her face on everything?
That would be the case in America, although not necessarily so here. In England, you can register your face as a trademark. A few diverse people, such as Jacques Villeneuve and other racing drivers who I don't even know have registered their physogs. And I think the Beckhams have too. But as far as I'm aware, Madonna hasn't registered a trademark on her face in the UK. So you could probably buy these condoms in a store near you here, not too long.
Buy them in a school near you soon?
In a store.
Oh, sorry, I thought you said...
It shows what sort of school you went to, Chris.
How much could she win from this if she did pursue it?
Oh, in America, you sort of think of a number and triple it, and if you get a judge on an off day, you can quadruple it.
Wow.
And then you go for a jury trial, and then it can be really substantial.
Right, so, I don't know, 50,000? No, 50 million, whatever. Who knows?
A lawyer in America doesn't file a suit for less than 7 or 8 figures, or else he's not worth his name, is he?
James, of course, she's only on the packet. She's not actually on the sheath itself. Would the idea of Madonna on the sheath make you stay true blue?
This story must be a gift to you, isn't it? You're loving it.
Just answer the question.
No, you know, Madonna, as they said in that package, look, she's somebody who's the ultimate sex symbol of the last 20 years. You know, sex is what she talks about, it's what she sings about. I think she's the perfect person to actually promote healthy sex.
Julia, as a lady and as a lover as well, would you want to see that on your bedroom side table, picture of Madonna as the boy goes to it?
The only thing that concerns me is it could be replacing the tired old evergreen of the photograph on the headboard, which really does concern me.
Yeah.
I'm not loving.
I really need to get used to the idea that I'm on at 7 o'clock and not at 8:30 as we used to be. We're kind of contravening. So, do you think it will go to court, or does this kind of thing get sorted out generally in the States before we get there?
Usually these things are big publicity, Cash, but pick up on what you said. I rather thought she might buy the company and take over the marketing herself.
Yeah.
That's a very good idea. Did you know, it's just time to break one very quick story. We are, in fact, having liquid news condoms. We are actually
Have they got your
definitely.
face on them?
We're still in research and development with that, whether that aids or not, as the case may be. Anyway, Tony, thank you very much for being with us and kind of helping us out with that story. Coming up on this edition, Jacko's picking up trade in New York and Britney's on the lookout for tits. This is Liquid Music News. First, though, it's been claimed tonight that the pilot of the plane that crashed, killing the R&B singer Aaliyah, should not have been flying it in the first place. The Miami Herald is reporting that the pilot of the Cessna, Luis Blanes, was not qualified to fly that particular plane. Today, Aaliyah's body was flown home from the Bahamas to New York for the funeral. The tributes continue to come, especially from her generation of stars, inspired by her work.
It's tragic that someone so beautiful and so talented can be taken away at such a young age, and I think the music industry definitely is mourning her, but at the same time, it is important to celebrate her life, that she was a fantastic artist, she was a great actress. She's in a better place now. She'll always be remembered for the great things that she's done.
Still the silly hat. He's more into monkey tennis than stocks and shares, but Michael Jackson has agreed to drum up some trade at the NASDAQ. That'll happen tomorrow. Large crowds are expected outside the building in New York, where the one-handed glove puppeteer will go live on a very big screen. Pinstripe bosses at the NASDAQ want him to open up shop because of his commitment to excellence in the entertainment industry and because people will just turn up to see if his nose falls off. Watching big numbers on an even bigger screen is what the Liquid News business boy does for a living. Patrick O'Connell joins us live from his Times Square studio. That is lovely. What are you saying, Julia?
Nothing, I'm just saying Patrick.
Oh, you've got a fan over here already. That is a lovely shirt, can I say?
This is the city-type stripe. We all wear them, Christopher.
It is. It's just like uniform, and it's working for half of our guests here today. Anyway, let's just talk about this story. Why is Michael Jackson doing this, Patrick?
I think there's more in it for the NASDAQ. This is 7 stories high, this screen, Christopher, than there is for the self-proclaimed king of pop. He's here. His concerts come up on the 7th and the 10th of September, 30 years, the solo years. He's kind of kicking off the hoopla here. I think there's more in it for them than there is for him.
Is hoopla an official kind of business term that you use out there?
It is, and here's exactly how it will be proved. Just
show us the hoopla.
This is looking uptown. This is where you stand if you want to watch the ball drop at New Year. This is where they'll be on Thursday if they want to watch the king of pop drop the opening ball, if you like, at the NASDAQ stock
Ding, ding, ding.
Do you do this for a living, Patrick, talking about these balls and stuff? It's very good.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. Let's talk about NASDAQ. Is it particularly kind of show busy? Because I've read that they have vegetables and canned soup opening up things in the past.
No, I mean, this is a stock stunt. And in the past, we've had can-can girls on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange. We've had the president of China. This place, it's not show busy at all. The only Barbara Streisand used to like to check her tech stocks. That's where this is, in the big days when stocks kept going up. But I don't think there's anything show busy about this at all.
I think you're the most show busy thing about the NASDAQ. Julia, a quick question to Patrick. Do you want to check some stocks and shares or anything today?
Oh, yeah, I want to see what's happening with the cattle indicator.
The what?
The cattle indicator?
Oh, yeah.
Well, we normally deal more in pork bellies. Which
Stop talking about me. I told you he'd be rude.
No, I don't know a thing about cattle.
Can you just give us the NASDAQ figure for today? Just make it up.
I can. The NASDAQ behind me, 7 stories, is down 20 points. It's a bit of a dodgy time for investors, Christopher.
Oh dear, I'm worried by that. Patrick O'Connell live in New York from the NASDAQ office. Thank you very much indeed.
How divine is he?
How what?
How divine is he?
You've got a thing for stockmen, haven't you? You were telling me about this backstage. You've got a thing for traders, haven't you?
Shush, please!
OK, camera 1 onto a little single shot of me. Shut up. Emma Bunton's aim for this week's top 5 is looking as wonky as Terry Wogan's wig. The midweek figures show that Baby Bunty will only scrape in at the bottom of the top 10 pile on Sunday. Meanwhile, Liquid News friend and former Bonquette beauty Louise will make the top 5 for his boy band Blue, who are tipped for #1, although they've been telling us today that they're not celebrating until it's all doubly cocksure.
Being in that position, it's like, it feels fantastic. But like Anthony said, we're not, until it's official and it's on paper and it's on the TV and it's saying we're #1, then we're not going to.
What does it feel like to have a midweek #1?
It feels amazing.
Amazing, I think is what he was saying. They are lovely and well done to them. More music news, and big voice soul singer lady Jill Scott has been hoovering up the awards at the Lady Soul Train Awards in the States. Awards. She won Best Single, Best New Artist and Entertainer of the Year. Destiny's Child also collected one for Survivor, but apparently they threatened to crush the judges' heads with their huge R&B thighs if they didn't pick up a gong.
And to all the fans up there, thank you so much. Thank you so much for making Destiny's Child who we are today. We love you so much. I just want to thank Michelle and Kelly for being my sisters. I love y'all. God bless y'all. Thank you.
They're not her real sisters. Britney Spears has no time for a cockatoo. She prefers her birds on the wild side, it turns out. Britney is, in fact, an ornithologist. Yes. For the first time ever, the magazine of the British Trust for Ornithology will ditch birds as cover stars and go for Miss Spears instead. Liquid News understands her Hollywood big bungalow is decked out with pictures of wild birds. What advice would you give to Britney once you've learnt that? Isn't that a bit scary?
Oh, I'm not really sure. Sometimes they carry a few diseases, don't they, those birds and their feathers?
That's a little bit generic, isn't it?
Well, I'm Australian.
Right.
Now, what sort of birds do you think she specialises in particular? Because she's quite a wild bird herself.
These are Canadian wild geese.
That's nice shots of birds there in the background.
They are.
Yeah.
A flock of birds before my eyes. When will be my surprise?
What?
That's how you get good luck.
When you're up in Edinburgh, do you take a lot of drugs?
No way. But I can drink.
Really?
Did.
You did?
Oh, I was the margarita specialist. I had to drain the margarita machine each night. Did a good job of it, though.
Britney Spears and birds. Talk to me about it.
It's publicity, surely. Does anybody really buy that? Do you buy that?
Yeah.
But you're not saying that you don't
would
think that she's a real human being with real human interests?
I think she's an American.
Oh, come on.
That's a big difference.
That just hurts my feelings.
As an Australian.
Yeah. I'm only joking. I reckon she could, because she comes from, like, you know, nowhere town America, doesn't she?
Say goodbye to the geese. I just want to mention that in particular. Just one other particular point, Aaliyah, or Aaliyah as I'm calling her since her death. Matrix 2 and 3, they kind of just started work on that. How great was she a good actress? Kind of rate her?
Well, it's really weird because her big movie break was Romeo Must Die, which was kind of an action movie. And when I went to see it, you know, the last thing that I expected was for Aaliyah to be any good, because she was an R&B singer and there's no reason why she should be any good. But actually, she really was, and she really did carry the movie. She then did the sequel to Interview with a Vampire, which is all done, so I mean that will come out. But I don't know about the Matrix sequels. They're having enough problems with them already, you know, so it's just it's another setback. It's a terrible setback, but I think those movies are going to be quite a while. We're going to have to wait for them a while now.
So a lot of those tributes are actually genuinely heartfelt, which is sometimes not always the case with the people who haven't actually met her. Anyway, thank you very much for that. Still to come, themusic.comers surf into oblivion as the cyber bubble burst. We're loving again in 25 seconds.
Revolver, comedy like nothing you've ever seen. Tomorrow at 9:30 on BBC Choice. Watch it, or next time she takes it all off. You decide.
The porn star in the Tom Cruise libel case has pulled out prematurely. Tommy Boy was suing the erotic wrestler Chad Slater after he was reported to have told a French magazine that he was having an affair with the Top Gun. Chad the Slammer says he will now not contest a $100 million lawsuit filed by the actor. The magazine had quoted Slater as saying his relationship with Cruise caused the star's breakup with Nicole. Slater later denied ever speaking to the magazine or ever meeting Cruise. The French publication Actu Star published a retraction. No news as to what Tom will now do with the lawsuit. Can you recognise the music used there?
No. Oh, no, you've shown me up now, haven't you?
World of Sport, Dickie Davis.
Oh, that's not a film, you see. I'm here to talk about films, Christopher. Your ITV, ITV sports programmes I don't claim to know anything about.
You are part of the human race.
Only just.
Yeah. It wasn't a lucky break for the British film industry last weekend. Planet of the Apes clung on to the #1 spot for a second week, beating the James Nisbet star vehicle. The Monkees also beat off competition from the new comedy release Heartbreakers starring Sigourney Weaver, which came in at #3. Cinema goers got cold feet with Nisbet in Lucky Break, which is about convicts planning the perfect escape. It failed to make it into the top 5, taking just under £350,000 in its debut weekend. John Travolta celebrating with a turkey. It's a little premature for Thanksgiving, so we must be talking about his ropey old flobber, Battlefield Earth. It's being reported that Trav is being offered around £450,000 sci-fi pounds to appear at a Battlefield Earth convention. That's despite the movie getting a Collymore-style slapping from the critics and losing $50 million at the global box office. And of course, the sad sci-fi country offering him all this money has to be England, of course. Why do we do that to ourselves?
Why would you?
Let's talk about Travolta just briefly. Is he kind of in trouble?
A little bit. Swordfish came out, and that was meant to be his big comeback. You know, a serious movie, a movie that would win over critics and the public, and it did all right, not great. And you know, 5 or 6 years ago, everything he did, everything he touched turned to gold. So he's not the man he used to be. And Battlefield Earth is seriously bad. I mean, you can't underestimate how much damage that movie did.
There was a lovely big tongue in it.
There was some dreadlocks and some moon boots, but that doesn't make a good movie.
Is this kind of thing 400,000 to come to a convention? Is that normal?
Well, I think when it's someone like Travolta, you know, if it's someone like George Takei from the original Star Trek series, you get him for like a packet of crisps and a beer afterwards. But for Travolta, you're going to have to pay quite a bit, aren't you? Let's be honest.
Julia, would you ever go to a convention? What's your big kind of? We know about your public life. What about your private life? What gets you all?
Stockbrokers.
No way.
That's true.
Cross-stitch.
What?
Cross-stitch. I'm quite good at cross-stitch. In fact, I'm doing a sampler at the moment, and I'm all over it. In fact, England is the place for cross-stitch, around the Oxford area, to be honest with you. And I like to go to a special cross-stitch convention.
Would you like to change the answer I asked you to the previous question about drugs?
No way.
No, OK. We're doing more.
Can you imagine what I'd be like then? I only begin to imagine what I'd be like then.
I'm very worried about this show. We have more of the day's entertainment news.
OK.
Good. Just like to look for affirmation occasion in your direction. Now, the role is slowly ebbing out of the Rock World's websites. The NME site has just announced it's cutting 11 jobs. Other web addresses like Music 365 is now burnt out and offline. This is just the latest in a technology cull which is spreading across cyberspace. For Liquid News, Alex Dango has this report.
Take one website, add a bit of rock and roll, and what have you got? A failed venture. In the past month, 4 entertainment-led websites have been closed down. The successful NME sites had to lose 11 of its tech heads, and TV bods Carlton have announced the imminent closure of its movie site Popcorn, which is expected to go offline on September the 1st.
First of all, they're expensive to run. Secondly, they're not bringing in the advertising revenue that they thought they would. And thirdly, there's no chance now they're going to have great big share prices to make them look fantastic.
It seems the problem for those in the cyber know is advertising. Publisher IPC's Uploaded.com and BeMe.com were both launched 3 years ago and enjoyed healthy traffic. But the revenue from advertising banners wasn't enough to sustain the sites, and they'll now be closed. Popcorn and Uploaded aren't the only entertainment websites to be affected. If you look at Music 365, it now forwards straight away to the top of the Pops website. That's because Music 365 had to be closed down a month ago. For many operating in the cutthroat website world, a change in tactics is needed.
We built a very successful multi-channel music portal to begin with, and have then realised that some aspects of that work better than others. So, for example, we launched a WAP service back in March last year, and there wasn't a huge consumer take-up, whereas now we're concentrating mainly on mobile services, and there's a huge demand for that.
Despite rumours to the contrary, world pop's promising a healthy future. So is there still hope for anyone hoping to make a fortune on the net?
Anyone who set out to become a .com millionaire was A, too late, and B, too stupid.
Oh, there goes the pensione in the south of France. Alex Stanger, BBC News.
It's bizarre, isn't it? Because I would imagine that one of the growth areas... What's that music? Oh, sorry, it's coming from that.
Oh, yeah, it's marvelous.
I thought someone had just turned the little radio on in the corner. Anyway, just about the entertainment website. Why they're not doing so well?
Too many of them. I think that's the problem. You know, when you're in a situation where any geek in their bedroom can set up a website, and I'm not saying that these ones are like that. They were big operations. They were big operations, but you know, at the same time, they are in competition with everybody who can set up their own website. You know, so you only want a couple, don't you? There's no point in having 10, 15 because you just don't need them.
Yeah. Can I just explain why I went so? Because my speaker's not playing that music and it's coming from over there. Just in case anyone thought I'd gone slightly mad, because that did look slightly weird, didn't it?
It looked a little bit weird.
Surely I'm the only one that's perceived as slightly mad.
Do you surf a great deal?
I'm www.singlemotherofnone.w1.com.
Do you go on there to date, though, to find men? Have you ever tried that?
No way. I'm all about the she-mail, though. And you know what? The boy I'm seeing even knows how to, like, go and find train times on it. There's a lot of information on that web.
Thank you. Still ahead, Sue Ellen leaves Southfork and staggers onto the West End stage. This is Liquid Television. Talking about lawyers for the Channel 4 mobster series The Sopranos are hoping a Chicago judge will just forget about it. It's me doing Italian accent.
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah, great. Almost said something there. The judicial big boy is due to, the judge that is, due to make a ruling on a lawsuit claiming the show is actually racist. The Sopranos is being accused of subscribing to the old stereotype of Italians as mafia henchmen and not the good, wholesome ones like these Italians. The American Italian Defense Association claims that if the characters were black or Jewish, there's not a chance in hell that it would be shown. Get a grip. She was a drunk, unfit mother with a quivering lip problem, but Dallas star Linda Gray is going up west. She's set to star as the older woman temptress who gets a kid off in The Graduate. There is some entertainment historical precedent for this, though. As an unknown model, Linda was the body double for original film star Anne Bancroft in The Graduate. Doesn't look like that anymore, but I mean, fit or what? Or what?
Linda Gray?
Yeah.
I was always more of a Victoria Principal man myself.
Oh.
I'd like to see her in The Graduate, that would be good.
She had the body principle too, didn't she? She had
did.
some whole fitness regime.
Well, she also married a plastic surgeon, which is quite handy.
Yeah, it's a pity she's not actually starring in it, because we could have just had this Victoria Principal chat. Actually, none of us know anything about Linda Gray, do
I
we?
do, she shot JR.
No, that was her sister.
Really?
Yeah.
What was the sister called?
Kirsten. Kristin. No, Kristin.
Or any of the above.
I'm having such a good time.
It's going so
I'm
smoothly.
having more fun than anyone else.
Seamless showbiz.
Shush. Still to come, he's a PVC lover. Marilyn is cool in plastic at Kerrang. That's coming.
I had just put